Every man thinks he needs more money, better looks, or sharper intellect to be respected. That belief is a trap. The real source of dominance can't be bought, inherited, or faked. It's the silent force that makes some people untouchable while others spend their lives ignored. See it once, and you'll never look at power the same way again. Machiavelli hinted at it in his ruthless observations of power. The difference between appearing strong and truly being untouchable lies in control of perception. Those who master this control dominate. Those who don't are dominated. Here's the warning: once this hidden trait is exposed, it can't be unseen. You'll know who has real power and who is just pretending. The choice is simple: stay predictable and controlled, or step into the space where presence itself becomes power. What follows are not tips. They are laws. Each one exposes a situation where average men lose their influence, and where the few who understand these principles rise above everyone else. Law 1: The power of presence unseen. From the beginning, society teaches that power belongs to those who shout the loudest, act the most aggressive, and demand the most attention. But that's not power, it's desperation dressed up as strength. Noise is the mask of insecurity. Real authority moves quietly. It operates in shadows, bending outcomes before anyone realizes it's at work. Think of the strongest person you've actually met, not a celebrity or a politician, but someone you've encountered face to face. Did they chase the spotlight? Did they brag about victories? Did they dominate every conversation to prove they mattered? No. Their strength was different, subtle, magnetic, undeniable. The kind of presence that silences a room without a single raised voice. This is invisible presence. While others claw to be noticed, it commands attention naturally. While they beg for respect, it receives it without effort. While they spill every thought and expose every weakness, it remains unreadable, forcing others to lean closer, to wonder, to pursue understanding that never fully arrives. Machiavelli captured this truth. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Appearance is easy to imitate, essence is impossible to fake. The foundation of real influence isn't noise, it's mystery. The loudest man in the room is often the weakest. The most dangerous force is not the one everyone watches, but the one nobody can predict until it's too late to resist. Presence unseen doesn't compete for attention, it makes attention inevitable. Law 2: The trap of predictability. Modern culture praises transparency as honesty, but in power it often equals surrender. The moment people can read every emotion on your face, predict every reaction to their words, and anticipate every move you'll make, you're no longer a player in the game. You're the piece they move at will. Those who constantly reveal what they think, feel, and plan imagine they're being authentic. In truth, they're being careless. Authenticity isn't weakness, but full exposure is. The powerful guard their thoughts like treasure. They reveal selectively, strategically, only when it serves them. What remains hidden is what keeps others uncertain. Predictability is the true enemy of influence. If your reaction to criticism is always outrage, anyone can control you with a single insult. If your hunger for praise is obvious, flattery becomes the chain around your neck. If your triggers are easy to spot, others will press them whenever it benefits them. Machiavelli noted that the quality of a ruler can be judged by the men he keeps around him. The deeper truth is this: power can be judged by how much one conceals. The unreadable are treated with caution and respect. The exposed are manipulated and discarded. Every overshare bleeds leverage. Every overreaction burns respect. Every overexplanation drains authority. Information is currency. Once it's spent carelessly, it can't be regained. The moment you hand others the map to your emotions, you give them the keys to your control. Mystery isn't deception, it's armor. The less predictable you are, the more untouchable you become. In a world full of people who broadcast their weaknesses, unreadability is not just strength, it's survival. Law 3, the questioner's advantage. Conversation is not a contest of who speaks more, it's a contest of who holds control. The one asking the right questions dictates direction, while the one answering bleeds information. Most people can't tolerate silence, they rush to fill it with words. That panic makes them exposed, predictable, and easy to read. The silent observer never wastes energy performing. While others compete for attention, he collects contradictions, uncovers hidden motives, and spots insecurities they didn't mean to reveal. Words meant to impress instead become admissions of weakness. Noise becomes free intelligence in the hands of someone who knows how to listen. This is not antisocial behavior, it is surgical strategy. A few sharp questions can open more doors than hours of talking. The right silence can weigh heavier than a flood of words. When you speak, it's not constant commentary but calculated strikes that land with precision. While others reveal themselves impulsively, you stay unreadable, forcing them to play their hand first. Machiavelli noted, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved." The deeper truth is this: unreadability breeds all three. When people cannot place you, they fear you, respect you, and seek your approval all at once. Every conversation becomes a battlefield of perception. Those who talk endlessly surrender ground. Those who question, observe, and withhold silently expand their influence. The quiet is the advantage. The questions are the weapon. In dialogue, as in power, control belongs not to the loudest voice, but to the sharpest listener. Law 4, the scarcity effect. Human psychology runs on a brutal law: scarcity creates value, availability destroys it. When presence is constant, it becomes background noise. When every request gets a yes, agreement loses weight. When every message is answered instantly, attention feels worthless. Unlimited access trains the world to take you for granted. Selective availability flips the balance. Appear less often, and your presence becomes significant. Withhold your agreement, and your word gains force. Guard your time, and it transforms into privilege. People value what they cannot reach easily: gold, diamonds, masterpieces, and the same principle applies to human attention. Machiavelli wrote, "Men in general judge more by the sense of sight than by the sense of touch. For everyone can see, but few can test by feeling." The lesson: the more accessible something is, the cheaper it feels. If access to you is automatic, respect dies. When access is earned, every interaction carries weight. Scarcity doesn't weaken influence, it multiplies it. Those who understand this stop being taken for granted. Their presence becomes an event, their opinions a signal, their attention a rare resource that others fight to deserve. Law 5, the precision of presence. Many confuse influence with constant visibility. They believe that being everywhere, attending every meeting, inserting themselves into every conversation, offering opinions on every subject, builds authority. In truth, it weakens it. Ubiquity cheapens value. Words repeated endlessly lose their force. Constant presence blends you into the background until you're no different from the noise. Strategic presence is the opposite. It is not about appearing everywhere, it is about appearing where it matters, at the exact moment impact cannot be ignored. The ones who master this don't just show up to events, they define them. They don't scatter comments, they speak rarely, and their words leave echoes long after silence has returned. They don't chase every opportunity, they wait for the decisive ones that shape reputation and power. Machiavelli warned, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. The lesson: presence demands dual instincts. At times, be the fox, silent, watching, gathering intelligence while others overextend themselves. At other times, be the lion, stepping forward with such force that the room itself rearranges around you. Influence requires knowing when invisibility is the sharpest weapon, and when emergence is the fatal strike. The core of power is timing. Enter at the moment others least expect, and the atmosphere bends. Speak only when silence has prepared the ground, and your voice will weigh more than 100 others. Withdraw at the peak, and your absence will echo louder than endless talk. Strategic presence is discipline, the refusal to dilute yourself through constant exposure. Say no to the many so you can dominate the few. Appear rarely, but with precision. Because when presence is scarce and perfectly timed, it doesn't just participate, it transforms the entire stage. Law 6: Emotional control. This is where most men lose the game. They allow others to pull their strings. Praise lowers their guard. Criticism makes them defensive. Pressure makes them reckless. Flattery makes them careless. The pattern never changes, emotions become chains, and the one who reacts is the one controlled. Mastery doesn't mean becoming numb. It means feeling everything, but showing nothing unless it serves the goal. Anger can be useful, but only when displayed as a weapon, not a reflex. Praise can be pleasant, but dependence on it is weakness. Urgency can be real, but false urgency must be ignored until strategy decides the response. Emotions are signals, not commands. The weak confuse reactivity with authenticity, believing every impulse must be expressed. The powerful know silence, restraint, and timing carry greater weight than any outburst. Machiavelli noted, "Whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past, for human events ever resemble those of preceding times." History proves the lesson: emotional people get controlled, controlled people hold power. In practice it's simple. An insult designed to provoke? Pause, calculate, answer only if advantage demands it. A deadline meant to corner? Delay, dismantle the pressure, act when ready. Manipulation through guilt or fear? Recognize it, consider options, and move only in your own interest. This isn't coldness. It's strength. When chaos erupts and one man stays calm, he becomes the center others orbit. When panic spreads and one man remains rational, his judgment becomes law. Emotional control is more than discipline, it is the fortress no enemy can breach. Law 7: Strategic silence. Silence is the weapon most fear to use. They rush to fill every pause, terrified that quiet means weakness, irrelevance, or lack of value. But the truth is the opposite: noise is cheap, silence is expensive. Strategic silence reshapes the battlefield. It creates tension that amplifies your words. It forces others to reveal themselves. It projects control no performance can match. The difference is simple: awkward silence feels like hesitation, strategic silence feels like dominance. Use it after delivering a decisive point, let it burn instead of diluting it with explanations. Use it when faced with a loaded question, pause, calculate, then respond on your terms. Use it when a room is chaotic, silence makes you the center of gravity. Use it when pressured to decide instantly, silence buys time and exposes their motives. Machiavelli wrote, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." Silence is dangerous because it demands courage. Most can't stand it. They break first, blurting secrets, showing weakness, handing leverage. That's your gold. While they speak to ease discomfort, you collect intelligence. While they ramble, you plan. While they grow nervous, you grow stronger. Strategic silence also forces respect. When people know you won't react to every word, they weigh their words more carefully. Your speech becomes rare, your sentences events. And when you finally break the silence, the room listens, because contrast has turned your voice into authority. Law 8. Hold something back. Nothing weakens power faster than revealing everything too soon. Many believe that showing their full skill set builds instant credibility, that complete transparency proves trustworthiness. In reality, it destroys advantage. Once every ability is on display, mystery dies. Others know exactly what to expect, exactly how to counter, exactly how to control. Predictability breeds weakness. Mystery keeps people cautious, curious, and off balance. The powerful reveal strategically. They show just enough to command interest, never enough to be fully understood. Skills, knowledge, resources, connections, all of it is released piece by piece, always with something in reserve. Machiavelli warned, "He who neglects what is done for what ought to be done, sooner affects his ruin than his preservation." Full exposure hands others the tools of your ruin. Hidden reserves keep you adaptable, surprising, and untouchable. This isn't deception, it's discipline. Speak truth, but don't volunteer what isn't needed. Display strength, but never the entire arsenal. What people can't see, they can't copy, counter, or exploit. Respect comes from what is visible. Fascination, and true power, comes from what remains hidden. Law 9. Weaponized uncertainty. People make their worst mistakes when they're unsure, and the powerful know how to keep others uncertain while staying steady themselves. Predictability invites manipulation, unpredictability commands respect. When no one can read your next move, they question their own. When your intentions remain unclear, they tread carefully. When they don't know where they stand with you, they fight harder for approval. Certainty makes people lazy. Uncertainty keeps them sharp. Machiavelli advised, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." But there is a sharper truth, better to be unpredictable than either feared or loved. The unreadable always hold the upper hand. Strategic uncertainty doesn't mean being random, it means breaking patterns on your terms. Sometimes respond fast, sometimes withhold. At times show warmth, at times remain distant. Be present when it matters, absent when it strengthens your value. Each variation forces effort, curiosity, and respect. The goal isn't to create anxiety, but intrigue. A man who is fully known can be dismissed. A man who remains unpredictable can never be ignored. Law 10. The hidden force. Understanding invisible dominance is nothing. Living it is everything. This transformation isn't about changing who you are, it's about sharpening strategy. Not a new personality, but the most dangerous version of yourself. Begin by cutting the habits that drain power. Stop chasing validation, dependence on approval makes you predictable. Stop over-explaining, decisions don't need apologies, and no is already complete. Stop reacting on impulse, emotions are real, but the first reaction is rarely the strongest move. Machiavelli observed, "The best fortress which a prince can possess is the affection of the people." But in practice, the best fortress is self-control, because nothing can be manipulated if it cannot be predicted. Replace weakness with new habits. Pause before every critical response. Weight is born in silence. Ask questions more than you give answers. Information flows to the one who inquires. Control access to your time. Let respect, not convenience, determine availability. Speak with precision, every word a blade, not filler. The result is presence without performance. Leadership without demands. Authority without noise. This is invisible dominance in action, maximum influence with minimum effort, maximum respect with minimum exposure, maximum power with minimum resistance. True power moves in shadows while false power begs for the spotlight. The weak demand respect with noise, the strong earn it through silence and strategy. Others scramble to control people, you control outcomes without being seen. This force isn't inherited, it's trained. Every day offers a chance to practice, in the silence that unsettles, in the restraint that frustrates, in the unreadability that protects. Most will never touch it, too busy shouting to notice the strongest are listening, too busy performing to realize the true rulers stay hidden. Mystery is strength. Silence is power. Unreadability is protection. Together, they form the hidden force that bends reality itself. The most dangerous man in any room is the one underestimated, the one no one can read, predict, or control. Be that man. Be the hidden force. Now, become unstoppable. For more strategies that sharpen this edge, watch the full playlist Machiavelli on Power as Design.